This podcast is for informational purposes only and does not constitute legal, tax, investment, financial, or other advice. It is not intended to cause or induce breach of an existing agency agreement.
This is the Victoria Real Estate Podcast. Hello and welcome to the Victoria Real Estate Podcast, where we discuss everything Victoria Real Estate. I'm Adrian McLaren. I'm joined by my co-host,
Vincent Bart.
and we are realtors on the City Nest team. We are real estate agents at Remax Camosun in Greater Victoria. And like always on our monthly update episodes, we're also joined by
David Steinberg.
And David Steinberg is a owner and mortgage broker at Olympic Mortgage. Hi, David.
Hello.
Just want to give a shout out before we get started to our sponsor of the podcast, Canine Car Care. Canine Car Care came to the office and cleaned my car while we recorded the podcast. They did an awesome job, and I was really impressed by the results. They offer remote car detailing inside and out. They offer 100% satisfaction guaranteed, and they state that a clean car equals instant confidence. And go ahead, Vince.
I don't know if I mentioned this, but they actually came out to my place and cleaned my car at home in my driveway.
Way.
And it was so handy, so convenient.
Yeah, it's great. You just, pop out, give them the keys. You can go do whatever you want. And it's great. Versus I feel like I'm so averse to going into a shop.
Oh, yeah.
Even from what my oil changes do, sometimes I'll just keep going. And I'm like, I really got to go.
Okay, well, that's lame. I mean, you can do a drive-through oil change.
I know.
You can't do a drive-through detailing.
Even then, I'm like, oh, man. But yeah, you can find out more at caninecarcare.com. Weekly stories. Guys, let's do. I feel like we haven't sat down. We didn't sit down last month because we're like, the market's being the same. It's being boring. So we skipped the month and, summer.
Yeah, summer.
So catch me up. What's going on?
Gosh, I mean, where do you start? How do you summarize all of the fun adventures that are not work related? I've been really enjoying getting to know BC. I got to go to a place called Sorrento. It's a little town off the side of the Trans-Canada Highway.
That sounds like Italy.
It is not. I've had to explain that so many times. I feel like you should not be able to name a city after a famous place in Europe because it just adds a lot of confusion. But anyways.
There is a city on the Amalfi Coast called Sorrento,
yeah,
correct?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I've been there. It was my favorite place.
Just like there's London, England and London, Ontario.
Right.
They should not.
They shouldn't be able to do that.
Yeah, there should only be one London. Anyways, went to Sorrento. If you have not been to Shuswap Lake, it is absolutely gorgeous. Over 1,000 kilometers of coastline. It feels like you're on the ocean, but you can drink the water. Don't recommend it, but it's fresh water and it's so nice. So yeah, I've really been enjoying just exploring the interior of our beautiful province.
Nice.
And what'd you do there? Camping, fishing?
Yeah, we stayed on the lake.
Yeah.
And had some friends come out for July 1st.
Nice.
So Canada Day, went out skiing. I tried water skiing for the first time. Got up on my first shot, which apparently is really hard to do.
Nice.
And then was terrible after that. But I had a good start.
Nice.
Very good.
Good.
David, what about you? What's going on?
Kids are on summer break.
Yep.
And they're trying to get jobs actually.
Oh.
But my older son, the deck needs to be stained and the garden needs to be all cleaned up. And I figured I should try to challenge him. He's 17 years old, so I feel like he should be able to actually do these things. And he's done a spectacular job so far. He's sanded it by hand, with the sanding machine.
Oh man!
Yeah.
And then now he's over the last couple of days he's been painting it, so that's great.
Are you getting him at minimum wage? Or
Well, no,
You have to take food and board.
Actually, it's
mine
kind
is,
of funny because he has access to my credit card, and he said, "So, Dad, are you going to pay me this? You're going to pay me this week?" And I said, "Yeah, but what did you spend on my credit card?" And he says, "Oh, Dad, I didn't realize that if you were going to take off what I was charging on your credit card, then I wouldn't have spent that much." I'm just like, Jack, welcome to adulthood.
Yeah.
Welcome to adulthood. It was just, he's a great kid. He's a great kid. I love him dearly, obviously, and he is doing a great job, but just kind of a moment of realization for him, waking up and realizing, Dad might be deducting those things that I spent on his credit card off of my pay.
Yeah.
I better not spend as much on Dad's credit card anymore.
Yeah.
So my other son is trying to get a job at Save On, and he started to text somebody who was asking to be a referral source. I said, no, Beck, give them a call, pick up the phone and give them a call. Mm-hmm. And I think that's what's partially missing with a lot of the youth these days is that I said to Becca, it's not about her just saying yes to being your reference. It's about the process. You know, like to get this job, you have to phone your references and talk to them and tell them what you're doing. And it's part of the process. So anyways, the kids are working and
nice. And
I'm working
it'll
too.
help them stand out too.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
Everyone's just dropping off a resume
Right.
or whatever, right? So
Right.
yeah, that's cool. I like that.
What's going on with you?
Oh, thanks for asking. Usually, I have to just talk myself and I feel very self-colluded. I've been just obsessed with the World Cup. I've been watching all the games. Yeah.
For those of you listening, David's got a newspaper.
with the world,
course.
with the
Yeah.
with that, because I noticed you mentioned that about the World Cup.
Yeah. So I went to the Canada-Switzerland game, and that was awesome. Canada did not win that one, unfortunately, but we went on and went into round of 16, which is like, the farthest we've ever made it. We played really great, so I was really proud of them. And then I also went to the Switzerland-Algeria round of 32 game. And just the environment of the games and watching them and following it along, it's been very cool. It only happens every 4 years, so...
Now, you've been to FIFA games in the past.
Yeah.
What stands out as like unique or different or something you weren't expecting by seeing the games in Vancouver?
I mean, I feel like it was obviously very cool. I went to Qatar for the last World Cup, and it was awesome and very, 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 very cool. But the one thing that I found very cool here is the Canadian pride, or the Canadian backing was so much stronger, obviously being in Canada. So I did the march for the Canada-Switzerland game, and there's just thousands of people in the streets and flares and smoke bombs and
That sounds
people
illegal.
playing- yeah. And people playing music and chants and all that stuff. And then same thing at the game. Like I went to a couple Team Canada games in Qatar, and there's not very many Canada fans at those games. Well, there was, but not nowhere near the numbers that at these games. And so just the environment, everyone cheering and backing them, that's been the coolest thing. And then honestly, just being in Vancouver during the World Cup has been super cool, because even for a Mexico, the Mexico-England game, there was I don't even know, 10,000 people downtown in the park, watching it
that's
on the
cool.
big screens, and all the Mexican immigrants are all there supporting, and everyone who maybe Canada's out and now they're supporting Mexico. Yeah, so it's just the environment in the city is just so much more electric right now. So, and even Victoria as well. We have watch parties in Langford and downtown Victoria as well. So yeah, it's been good.
Nice.
All right, guys, it's time for your favorite part of the podcast.
Dun, dun, dun.
Can we skip this?
No, we cannot. It's my favorite.
It's humiliating.
We have trivia, and honestly, you know what? I get Claude's help with making my questions, and I told Claude, hey, these guys.
They're kind of dumb.
Yeah, dumb it down.
That's not what I said. That's not what I told Claude. But I said, they've been struggling with the last couple of questions. Can we give them maybe some easier ones? So I'm hoping. Here we go, guys. All right. Question number 1. It's called Record Breaker. What's the highest price ever paid for a single family home sold throughout the Victoria Real Estate Board's MLS? Is it A, 9.3 million, B, 11.4 million, C, 13.2 million, or D, 16.75 million?
So just for clarification, this does not include Oak Bay.
It does.
Oh, it does.
All of
include
UREB. So this includes Souk,
Machosen,
all of Victoria Real Estate Board. Yeah. Highest paid ever, all time.
I think it's. Do you want me to go first?
Yeah, let's hear it.
I think it's D then.
You think it's D, 16.75? Okay.
Because I think one of those, I've seen these listings were $20 million or $25 million listings.
Oh, there's a
But-
$28 million listing right
But
now.
did they
Right.
sell? Did they sell?
Did they sell?
That's the question mark. Yeah, that's the question mark. All right. Vince, what you got?
C.
You're going to go C?
Yeah, 13.
13.2?
Yeah.
All right. And the answer was C.
Oh, there you go,
Amazing.
Vince.
Always
Vince,
guess C.
congrats.
Always
This might-
guess C.
This might be your first. This might be your first one. I'm happy for you.
I have so many people I want to thank.
And David, you were bang on. Actually, it was an Oak Bay waterfront estate on Beach Drive, built in 2016. 1,200 square foot lot, sold in 2022.
1,200 square foot lot or
No.
12,000
Sorry,
square foot
12,000.
lot?
12,000.
Okay.
Sorry, 12,000.
A really skinny house.
And it broke the previous record, which I remember was held by a 67-acre Machosen estate that sold for $12 million in 2021.
That one was only 12 million.
I know. Well,
What a
it
bargain.
started a
with
lot
the
higher.
with the pool.
Yeah, they had the stream going right
the
through the
stream going
property.
through the house.
No, it was very cool. All right, question number 2. Realtor count. Roughly how many licensed realtors does the Victoria Real Estate Board currently represent? And it's not exact. I have some rough numbers. We have 950, 1380, 1600, or 2100.
Well, I think Vince knows this, but
I don't know if he does.
Maybe he doesn't. I think it's C.
You think it's C?
1600.
1600?
Yeah. Well, okay. So I did think that, but we've lost a lot of good agents recently.
Have we?
A lot of people are throwing in the towel. I'm going to stick with C,
You're gonna stick
1600.
with C?
Yeah.
And you guys are correct.
Hey.
Nice.
We're at 1609 as of June 2026 report, up from about 1380 just a year earlier. Notable growth in the number of licensed agents.
No way. In the last 12 months?
Yep. You got to
Wow.
remember the what we talked about in the past in the podcast was like agents kind of drop when the market slumps,
Yes.
but it's a lagging indicator. So
Right.
COVID was happening, which was 3 years ago. People started the course.
They got in.
They just got in or whatever. So I feel like or maybe that they remembered that the market was really hot, and then they started the course. It takes a year. So anyway, I think we'll see as this market kind of progresses that the number kind of decreases over time, but we'll see, maybe not. And I mean, I was looking at the numbers for just agent to like per capita, like for population, and man, Vancouver and Toronto have so many agents.
I think Toronto has more. I think it's the largest real estate board in North America. I think in the world.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Wow.
Like 40,000
Like in
agents or something.
Victoria, us having 1600 is actually like wow, like maybe we should have more. Hopefully not. All right, summary of the podcast today. We're going to start out with the market update with Vince. And then number 2, we have Victoria launches community housing renewal grant. I know a couple people might pass this along too. Number 3, we have our economic/mortgage update with David. And then number 4, we have our Victoria Council approves a 22-story tower at Blanchard and Fisgard. All right, Vince.
Oh yeah, I just saw that story. Cool.
Yeah.
Nice. Okay, let's talk about the market.
Yeah.
Single family. This is the one that is the fastest to heat up and the slowest to cool down. So despite what you've seen with all the crazy headlines, the average sale price year over year is only down 0.6%, which doesn't make any sense to me. But we are at 1.326 million for the average single family detached in the Victoria core. We have a huge amount of homes under $1 million, which we've talked about that previously. So there's a ton of really good value for single family right now.
And the one thing that I'd love to point out is actually, I think we had the highest month ever recorded during our COVID run up was like 1410.
Yeah.
So like we're like less than 100K under like that crazy COVID peak.
But we're actually up a little. So it went way down and then it kind of came up a bit. So at one point we were at 125. Now we're at 132.
I know,
Crazy.
it's crazy.
So condos, less exciting. Year over year though, this doesn't make sense. We're only down 1.9% on our benchmark price for condos. So this time last year, June of last year, we were at 559,000. Now we're 549,000. Well, that's not a big change at all. But the really, really big headline is condo sales are down 27%. So the number of units sold is down 27% from last June.
Yeah, and
That's a
maybe
lot.
and maybe with
Yeah.
that number, like our price is kind of staying kind of firm. We're only down 2% year over year, but sales are down 27%. What's that telling me is maybe sellers are just sitting. They're just like
bingo. That's it.
They just don't wanna sell.
They don't want to sell. If they're going to take this 50K loss or 40K loss, they're just like, I'd rather just sit on it for whatever. Yeah.
The thing I'm sharing with a lot of particularly condo sellers out there is we have the highest vacancy rate in over 20 years. Rents keep coming down. Adrian and I keep disagreeing on those numbers, but we do know, objectively speaking, that rents are coming down across Victoria. So
that we can agree on.
there's nothing that I see in the next 24 months that leads me to think that condos are going to shoot up in price. So if you're saying, well, I'll hold off, maybe next spring will be different, I don't see anything changing.
Yep.
Now, if we're saying, okay, beyond 2 or 3 years, who knows what could happen that far out. But in the short term, I don't see anything changing that would make us think that condos are going to bounce back. So it's kind of interesting. We are also seeing sort of this key theme, and that's a market split in two. So we have single family, they've stabilized, showing its best performance since the middle of last year. But condos, there's this slump, not so much in pricing, as I've just said, but just in inventory. So supply side, we have active inventory right now, over 4,000 listings. So last month we were all really excited because we broke that 4,000 unit ceiling. and now we're up even higher. So we have the highest level of listings for new listings in the last 15 years. So that's definitely noteworthy. But yeah, median prices are soft. Single family detached was actually at its lowest point in December of 2024. So that's what I was saying. It dropped, and then we're kind of coming back up after COVID.
Yeah.
So why the heck are condos so weak and miserable? We've got affordability as the big issue. Everyone's saying, I can't afford a home. So then you'd say, well, why don't people just go out and buy condos? And the big thing, and we've talked about this for probably 6 months now, every time you see a construction crane in downtown Victoria, it's for a rental building. We're not building any real condo projects to speak of. We have a handful of them, but most of the new construction that you're seeing is purpose-built rentals. And so that's just, it's taking all of the wind out of the sails of small-time investors. So the only investors that are really winning are if they're getting cheap government money to build these massive buildings, and then they're flipping it off to a REIT.
And then I feel like individual investors have just vanished.
Why would you? Why would you get into the condo market right now? To buy a rental, it just, to me, it would be different if they said, oh yeah, in 2 years we're going to open the floodgates on immigration, or in 2 years we're going to change.
Nothing exciting.
There's nothing exciting. The government's just making it harder and harder.
And the other thing is, it's not like right now condos are being fire sold either. Like we just showed, prices are down 2% year over year.
Yeah, they're just not selling.
Yeah, exactly. So for me, like if maybe you could buy a 2-bedroom for $499 or less, as a new build or something like that, maybe that would get me excited. But they're not. They're still 600 plus.
I don't really understand why. First of all of my clients, whenever they want a condo, it's always a 2-bedroom. Always, almost always a 2-bedroom. So I kind of think to myself, just stupidly, I guess, why didn't the developers, or why weren't they just building more 2-bedroom units all along? Because I feel like that's what everybody wants. When you got to
remember, like when the market was really hot, you could sell a 1-bedroom for $500. So you can sell 2 1-bedrooms for $1 million. You couldn't sell a 2-bedroom for $1 million.
No.
Right? So they just were maximizing.
Maximizing the amount of dollars they can make, basically, by building the 1-bedrooms, or even these 300 square foot studios.
But you're right, David. Like I would say that, they were getting people in the ground floor, like, oh, buy a studio for $350. And it's like, who wants to live in a studio with no parking? So it was all, economic based and money based, right? And it wasn't really, maybe lifestyle based. And that's a fault of our local government approving these buildings. But now I think we're seeing it. Like I think people, like you said, really want those 2-bedrooms, and I think those are the units that are gonna
2 or 3 bedrooms.
Yeah,
I don't know why they didn't build more 3-bedrooms.
At that point, then people say, "Oh, just squeeze up to a townhouse."
Yeah. Right, and that's probably why condos are suffering. And because if rents are coming down, people maybe make the decision and say, well, if it's between me renting versus actually getting into a house, I'm just going to rent until I can actually get into a house,
or a townhouse.
Condo. Or a townhouse.
Especially since the market has softened. I think that's also giving people hope. Maybe when the average townhouse price was $900, they were like, I'm not going to get there. But maybe now that average price has come down a little bit, it's a little bit more attainable.
What, $650, $700?
I actually don't know. Do you know, Vince, like roughly where we're at townhouse wise?
I haven't been tracking that as closely.
You keep going, I'll look it up.
Yeah, but there are 2 other quick anecdotes around what's happening in the market right now. One, to just sort of finish the loop on rentals. I went and I took my daughter and we secret shopped a new rental project near University Heights. And we were getting some Frank's hot chicken, and we thought, hey, we'll pop in and just see what's going on here. So we got to check out what the new product looks like. And one of the trends that we're seeing for new built rentals, they're expensive, but they're expensive when you first ask the question, but then they include a whole pile of extra incentives. For example, they were offering 2 months of free rent. They are offering parking incentives, so like we won't charge you for parking. They even have started doing fully furnished apartments.
And that's actually where I think maybe our argument is like where we're talking about the numbers specifically. I feel like a lot of renters not renters, but people offering rentals, instead of lowering their monthly price, they're offering all these incentives.
Exactly.
Which, obviously doesn't show in the monthly cost, but, they're not paying for parking. Like you said, they're throwing in utilities, free Wi-Fi, whatever it is, right? So, yeah.
And that's intentional, because if you think about a business owner, on your balance sheet, you want to show the highest rent possible. And so if you have to say, oh yeah, in the fine print, yeah, we gave away 2 months of free rent and our average tenant only stays for 12 months. Well, it's better for them to show a nice high rent on the rent roll, and then have these discounts kind of added in as sort of bonuses.
Also, average townhouse price right now is $790.
That seems like such a good price.
Yep.
Yeah.
I digress. So the other part I wanted to talk about is land value. So it used to be that if you had a piece of raw dirt that had the right zoning in Saanich or Victoria, that was it. You'd won the lottery. You just needed to sit back and wait for all the developers to fall over themselves to try and snap up your dirt. But what happened was, with that small scale, the missing middle stuff, when everyone's dirt got upzoned at the same time, everyone's dirt then became more similar in price.
Decrease in value.
Yeah, relatively. Yeah, so it used to be you had to have a certain lot size, or you had to be a corner lot, or be in a certain zoning. And now everyone can build a fourplex almost anywhere. And so the challenge then is it just brings the average price of dirt down. And so there's a house on my street that, they've been listed forever for land value. And you would think, man, it's a fantastic piece of dirt. Neighbors are a little crazy, but it's
talking about yourself.
I am, yeah. It's a great location. Why wouldn't someone snap that up? And it's because developers are a little more cautious, especially for these smaller kind of speculative investments. So there's definitely some softening of land value as well happening right now. And then we've got building costs. This is a really sort of a mixed signal.
Yeah.
It used to be that, you remember everyone saying, oh, it's due to supply chain issues. We're going to charge you 3 times what we thought it would be. We're seeing now that labor costs are coming down. I was talking to I have a cousin who's an electrician, and he said that they have cranked out so many electricians in the last few years that we have a glut of electricians. And so now electrical contractors are just having to bid to the bottom for pricing. Sorry if you're a Sparky out there listening to this. And so a lot of these guys, they're saying, well, maybe I should go and get my refrigeration ticket, or I should go back to trade school and get my gas fitting ticket, because they made way too many electricians and it's pushing down the price of labor. So it's really interesting. I never thought I'd hear that, because for the last 20 years, you think of like Mike Rowe with Dirty Jobs and all of these kind of conversations about how we have a shortage of blue collar workers. We have massive labor issues. At least in electrical and some of the other building trades, that's not an issue as much.
You got to think, I think electricians are the most white collar of all the blue collar, trades.
They get made fun of the most.
Yeah,
that's for sure.
Yeah. Well, my friend, he actually is an instructor for a local company that trains or gets people into the program, and the program's crazy. It's completely free to get into. You just have to apply. You get all your tools for free. You get your first 6 months of training free. And then they set you up within the union to work towards getting your hours.
No way.
And it's just like, here's your job, bang, and everything's just handed to you.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. So I understand why now that I guess we're having this influx.
Yeah, interesting. Okay, so that's all having an impact.
Edit that out, please. Sorry, guys.
No worries.
So let's jump back over to this grant you were teasing us with earlier.
I literally just found this last night. I was just kind of perusing, looking through articles, and I thought this was kind of interesting. So Victoria launches Community Housing Renewal Grant. What it is the City of Victoria is launching a new one-time grant called the Community Housing Renewal Grant. The goal is to preserve and improve existing non-market affordable housing stock in the city. So this isn't to build new stock. This is to preserve existing stock.
I love this.
Yeah. So who's eligible? You have to be a nonprofit owner, operator of existing non-market multi-unit buildings. Building must be at least 20 years old, must be non-government affiliated, must be located within the City of Victoria. The money, eligible applicants can apply for up to 100% of renewal capital costs.
No way.
Capped at $200,000 per project, funded through $1 million total available via the Federal Housing Accelerator Fund. So why now? The context we're flagging is Mayor Alto pointed to the recent pause in provincial funding for new non-market housing projects as part of the motivation. Rather than waiting for new builds, the city is using this approach or opportunity to accelerate renewal of what already exists, framed as ticking boxes on both the city's housing strategy and community safety and well-being plan. And I'm guessing she also has her election coming up. So timeline applications. The reason I want to bring it up during this podcast is because applications are open now, and the deadline is actually 4 p.m. on Friday, July 31st. So you have to get it in this month.
That's coming up.
That's nothing. I mean, you couldn't even get a quote that fast. Like if you knew your building needed a new elevator.
Yeah.
I mean, goodness, that's really fast.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't know. I think it just came out recently, but submit it online through the city's website. City staff will review for eligibility and quality before funding is awarded.
So the person who is listening to this and knows someone who has maybe a 20-unit apartment building, maybe they built it in the 70s, maybe it needs a coat of paint, this is the perfect project for them. So when we say non-market rent, it doesn't have to be subsidized. It doesn't have to be any of that because it has to be not government related. This could just be someone who has maybe an older building where the rents are just a little bit on the lower side. And rather than trying to pass, the cost of new carpets on to the next tenants, you just pass the cost on to the taxpayers of the city of Victoria. So if you know anyone.
No, this is federal. We're good.
Oh, yeah.
We're
okay.
good.
Oh, that's someone else's money.
This is
perfect.
everyone's
money.
money.
Great.
Yeah.
Excellent. So speaking of everyone else's money, David, what's going on?
What's going on with our money?
The Strait is open. The Strait is closed. The Strait is open.
he was
the
waiting.
Strait is closed. The Strait is open. The
Doing
Strait is closed.
The 6-7 hands for the people listening at home.
Gas is $2 a liter. Gas is $1.70 a liter. Gas is $2 a liter. Gas is $1.70 a liter. And I'm not really trying to be funny, but that's kind of how life feels these days.
Yeah.
Bond yields are up. Bond yields are down. Bond yields are up. Bond yields are down. I'm a little bit annoyed personally that our economy here in Canada is just so affected by if this strait is closed or open.
Yeah.
It's maddening a little bit because you think we're so far from there.
Yeah. How much of our oil exports go through the Strait of Hormuz? Anyone know?
Zero?
Yeah, I think it's got to be pretty close to zero.
I mean,
it's wild.
It's maddening, isn't it? Because it's just like, we're dealing with the fallout of this with sort of mortgage rates being crazy and all this uncertainty in the world economy.
Yeah.
And it's not like Carney can all of a sudden go and create, trade partners that quickly. I know that we're trying to work towards greater cooperation with Europe, but that's going to take some time. And it's not like we can just lessen our dependence on the US economy. Our economy is still completely dependent on the US economy.
Yep.
So, for mortgage itself, well, there's a Bank of Canada rate update tomorrow.
I feel like they're doing these more now,
There's eight per year.
I feel like they do one and then I forget about it for a bit and then they're doing one.
You're right. They just did one back in June, but they try to give you a break from, I guess, this point, July to September.
Okay.
So nothing's going to happen.
No.
The rate is going to hold steady because, even though unemployment is also not down, but unemployment is also not up. Our economy is just kind of in a standstill. It's in a holding period.
Yeah. Oh man, I've heard that so much for so long.
So
lame.
Rates are hovering, for the unconventional deal, 30-year AM refinances, things like that. I have as low as 4.14 with one bank if you qualify.
David, sorry to interrupt. I wanted to look on Polymarket what the rates are for the announcement tomorrow.
What are the odds?
It's 100% no change. I've never seen that before.
No, it's ridiculous.
Make some big money if you want to bet against it. Have you ever used Polymarket?
I'm interested because apparently you can bet on anything.
Anything.
Yeah.
Bank of Canada rate hike in 2026. Doesn't show what the favorite is right now, but 20%. Yeah. Anyway.
So
and it's like 29 cents to bid. I feel like we're advertising an online gambling platform.
Yeah. Don't do this, guys. Don't go on Polymarket.
Rates are definitely holding steady right now because of the uncertainty Bank of Canada doesn't really know what to do. They don't want to lower the rates because they don't want inflation to take off too much.
Yep.
And they can't raise the rates because technically I think we're in recession.
Yeah.
So we're stuck right in the middle there, and this is probably where it's going to be for a little while.
Yeah.
We're in and around 4%. My best variable rates are probably in around 3.5 on a high ratio though. Only.
Yeah.
On a conventional, the variable is more like 4 or 3.85 kind of thing.
Yeah.
But I'm finding now a lot of people they don't like the variable rate right now. No, I mean,
Just
because of the uncertainty,
Yeah,
right?
it's
Because it's a little bit more stressful. If I could say with certainty for sure rates are going to go down, then I think more people might opt for the variable rate. But
Right. What would you do, David?
Well, personally,
I would still go variable.
You're crazy.
Personally, I'm still holding variable.
Yeah,
You're crazy.
Me too.
Well,
What? Really?
Yeah.
You guys both hold variable.
Yeah, 3.9.
Stresses me
Because
right out.
because I do think Canada is in a little bit of a recessionary period where I think rates still have to come down a little bit more. But that doesn't mean when I'm on a phone with clients, I basically tell them at this point in time, I'm about 65% sure that rates are going down. The other 35% of me thinks they might be going up.
Yeah.
And there's nothing really to indicate what's going to happen either way.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Well, the thing that like for them to go up right now, I feel like something would have to happen.
Mm-hmm.
Like this war progresses, some sort of external factor. Because you're right, I think we are in a slight recession, and so it doesn't make sense for us to raise rates in any way unless there's an external factor affecting, and that can happen for sure. But
if we have a deeper recession, then rates will come down.
yeah,
But it doesn't look like that's going to happen because all the figures are pointing to the economy is just in a standstill.
yeah,
Yeah.
okay.
Do we have any good news out there, guys?
I thought that was good news. That was no news.
Yeah.
All right,
No news is better
good
than
news.
bad news.
No, yeah. I mean, honestly, like if every single time there's a rate announcement and I see it's holding steady, like I'm very okay with that. Like, that's giving me at least some form of stability right now, right? Like, and that's okay. I like that.
It's
All
not
right.
helping. It's not helping the market in any kind of way.
No,
obviously,
no,
I
it's
would
not.
think.
Yeah. And then, so David, what about like 5-year fixes? What about high ratio versus non-high ratio? What are we looking?
5-year fix.
Yeah.
We're looking at probably around 4.34 for a conventional, maybe 4.39, and for
4.39, and then on the
high ratio.
Yeah. No,
So
on the high ratio, what was
yeah,
it?
high ratio. I think we're hovering around 4%, 4.04 maybe.
Okay.
But the lenders these days are being kind of funny in that they are coming out with different rate specials all the time.
Yeah.
And right now I'm finding that we've got more specials on 3-year rates versus 5-year rates.
Right.
So
Well, what's the 3-year then?
3 years, the conventional's at 4.14 and the high ratio's at 3.89.
Okay. Nice. That's actually pretty good.
Yeah, I mean,
I'd probably lock that in.
it's a good, yeah, exactly. Right.
I definitely would lock that in. Yes, variable, really? I don't know. Tiff Macklin, he looked Canada in the eyes when he stared at the camera and he said, "We're not going to be raising rates." Do you remember that? And then he did. My confidence is shattered.
Yeah.
I don't think
Yeah.
I'll ever go variable, but that's just me.
Yeah.
All right. So what do we know about this 22-story building?
Yes. Okay. So just announced Victoria Council approves a 22-story condo tower, which is just what we need.
And that's just what I said wasn't happening. So that's actually really good news. We are building condos.
Yeah, I know. It was refreshing to see, something like this going, which is, non-rental. But yeah, they approved unanimously mixed-use condo development at the corner of Blanchard and Fisgard. Site address is 741 Fisgard Street. Currently a vacant lot with a street art covered fencing and a small parking lot.
See, and if they actually sorry to get back to
No,
what we were talking about before, but if they made a lot of these units 2 or 3 bedroom, they would attract a lot more families back downtown.
Yeah.
If they're going to make them all 1 bedroom.
Yeah.
It's just gonna be
I don't know
single
if that would
people.
be enough to bring families back downtown.
Wow.
David, when everyone unanimously agrees that security and safety is not, it's just not happening. It's better than it was, but it's not better
Yeah.
than it's ever. Like it's not good.
It's not the best. I guess it's not the best place for a young family.
No,
Probably not.
Even just like walking your dog.
Yeah.
You know.
Well,
like-
there's no grassy area around there, I don't think.
Yeah.
Well, Hank, they bought the remember the old Romeo's Pizza?
Yes, yes.
They bought that and they were going to turn it into a park. Now they rented it out. But eventually they'll build a park. And actually I was reading some of the funding from this 22-story condo tower project
Yep.
is going to go towards the park.
Yeah, but we need more parks that aren't taken over by, more parks that are actually for family
parks.
use and
Yeah.
for park use, not for tents to go up.
Yeah.
And,
no, for
Well,
sure.
you know what they should have is like a bylaw that says you can't do that. And
Yeah.
then what they should have is people that enforce those
Enforce
bylaws.
it.
They could drive around in leased white pickup trucks that the taxpayer pays for.
They do in Saanich. If you
Oh,
make a phone
I know
call,
they
they're
do.
there.
They're on it. But in Saanich, interestingly, if you're a listener and you're in Saanich and there's someone who's doing something that they shouldn't be in a place where they shouldn't be, you call the non-emergency line.
Yeah.
So they don't mess around. Whereas City of Victoria, they're like, oh yeah, call the bylaw office. The bylaw office? Have I gone on a tangent about the... We'll save that for another episode. There's a whole episode dedicated to Victoria bylaw services. We'll save that for another time.
We're creating enemies on this podcast. Getting back to this development,
Right.
Beautiful
Oh, it's gonna be
development downtown. Actually, one thing that I'm very excited is it is being developed by Jol Residential, and I love Jol.
They're great.
Yeah.
I don't
Like,
have any
yeah.
bad things to say about
anything
them.
that Jol does, I'm pumped, right? Like something they're gonna it's probably gonna have some sort of cool design, some cool architecture, and it's a combo up. They're working with Tri-Eagle Development Corp.
Yeah.
So-
Finally, it looks like they're putting underground parking there.
Oh yeah,
Enough of it.
This is the
Wow.
cool thing. 4 floors of underground parking, which I'm actually pumped on because I think we need more parking downtown. Bike lanes, everyone's biking in apparently, but still we need those parking because I there's a couple times I've been downtown somewhat recently and obviously busier time of the day, and I'm getting to the parking garage and I have to go to the very top floor, and I luckily find one person that's leaving, so they're jam packed down there.
Okay, Adrian, I've just got to throw this
Yeah,
side story
please.
in. Speaking of the top level of the parkade, did you hear the story that the City of Victoria is considering turning the
Oh, for
top
Yates.
level,
Right.
Johnson Street?
Johnson Street.
They're going to turn it into a community garden. So that last stall on the top of the parkade that you had to drive all the way up to will no longer be available.
Yeah, and whose community garden is it? Like for
Well, it's for the community.
right. Okay.
So individual people.
Never mind the staircase that you need to take to get there.
No,
It's a little bit.
They had really good engineers look at it, and the
Yeah.
engineer said, and I'm not making this up. They said if you use lightweight dirt, it'll be okay.
what is lightweight dirt?
I don't know. I guess the engineers know. I don't know.
I would think that in a place like this, the city would want the developers to maybe put in one whole floor of, like, I remember being in Calgary and there's the Devonian Gardens. It's downtown in a big office building, but it's a whole level of like a beautiful garden.
Oh yeah, they have that in Vancouver too. I
Right.
think in the Telus
Like-
building.
Yeah. No, I like
Just
stuff
add
like
it to
that.
my wish list for this new building.
Yeah,
guess.
and I mean, like, I like the idea of that. Like in my idealistic world where everything's perfect, like I think a rooftop garden on a parkade is kind of nice. But
It does sound nice.
Yeah.
Everything costs money though.
Everyone's got parking.
Yeah. But yes, going back to our development, 156 strata residential units, ground floor will be commercial retail space. Rezoning and development permit both approved this week, so sounds like they're getting going. Interesting design details worth mentioning. The site was originally planned as an office building, but developers pivoted to residential as office demand has softened in recent years. Units will include built-in work-from-home space, a shared office space for residents on the 4th floor, no private balconies, instead 6 two-story sky gardens. Huh?
Now we're
Sky
talking.
Gardens.
Shared
That's what I wanted.
communal balconies, basically on the top floor.
So is that in the exact lot as the QV bakery? That little QV bakery?
No, it's the old Frank White's dive store.
Oh,
Yeah, up on Blanchard.
Yeah, I'm trying to think like what's across
further up.
there.
The old Romeo's.
Odd Burger. Have you guys been to Odd Burger?
oh, it's gone.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's literally just like just fenced off right now. There's literally nothing there. Yeah, and commercial spaces will be small, under 200 square feet each, designed to house kind of restaurants in a food court style setup, which I actually really like because it kind of reminds me of Market Square, or not Market Square,
Hudson?
Public
Hudson,
Market.
Public
Yeah,
Market,
RIP.
right? Versus like small little things like people can kind of get a startup business going there, and then maybe move into a bigger space once they're more established. And it's connected by a pedestrian corridor running through
Brilliant.
between Fisgard and Carmorant Street. What?
Love it. I love it.
Yeah. No, I think it's going to be great. Council reaction: enthusiastic, unanimous support. Councilors framed it as bringing needed vitality to the area, which I agree. I feel like that area, they're getting a couple things, but I feel like it's like, in terms of the walkability and the vibrancy of downtown, it's kind of lacking. It's kind of like a little bit on the outskirt. There's not
Totally
really
agree.
a reason to go there unless you're going to P-Ball for a workout, but you're going to P-Ball and then you're going home. Right. So one councillor noted that this is a notable strata development in a city that's been mostly focused on approving rental projects lately, which is what we talked about. And a reminder that ownership housing supply matters too. Wow. Ooh. Okay. Victoria Council.
Yeah, there we go. Nice work, council.
Yeah. All right, guys. I think that kind of wraps up. Any tad bits of info we want to give before we sign off here?
I would say, before everyone kind of clocks out for the summer, if you have been looking for property, we have so many listings coming into the summer market, and a lot of us kind of take August off and just chill. Don't be that person, because you're going to find some fantastic deals. It's kind of like what happens in December when everyone has their eye off the ball. There are some amazing deals that come up. I'm thinking about the public trustee sales that come up. These are folks that, the government just decides, okay, yeah, we're selling this unit. They don't care about the timing of the market. They just need to sell the unit. And there are people every month that need to sell. And so if you've been hunting for a bargain, I think now is a great time, because all the other hunters are putting down their tools and going to the beach.
Off.
Exactly.
Yeah, not like there was a lot of hunters anyways.
Yeah, it's true.
Which I'm just a broken record here. It's just, this is a great time to buy.
Yeah. And
I've heard that before.
The one thing that I will say versus December might be like another great time to buy is in July and August here, where it slows down, is we also have this massive influx of the spring market that didn't sell. So we have this massive, like, versus in December, I feel like inventory is quite low and it's kind of depleted from spring and then also fall markets. But yeah, right now I feel like it's lots of supply, lots to choose from. All right. Awesome. Well, thanks, guys. Thanks for listening to the Victoria Real Estate Podcast produced by the City Nest team. We've had some fantastic reviews and we love them. So please leave us a review on Spotify, Apple Music, or wherever you're listening. We also really appreciate you guys sharing the podcast with friends and family. Otherwise, Vince, David, how can people get in touch?
Send me an email, vincent@citynest.ca.
I would say just call me, 250-858-7160.
Awesome. Thanks, David. And you can reach out to me, Adrian, at 250-464-4122 or on Instagram at Adrian Real Estate Victoria. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thanks. Nice.
Nice. Shorter and sweeter.
Got a bit rambly there. I'm sorry, Adrian.
No, it's